Hi, good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
My screen is visible, right? It is visible.
No, not it.
Not yet visible.
It is not visible.
Yeah, it's not visible.
Pink Kavita. Now is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So yesterday we were discussing about the data types, right? So what we understood about the data types, what is mean by data type in SQL? Yes. What are the data types actually? So why we are calling like it is a data type? What we understood yesterday about the data type? So data types is used to specify which type of data a column should hold, right? So it tells how much memory should be allocated for the particular column. So those are the data types over there. So these are the data types, right? So these are the data types over there. So under the types of data types, so we are having like it is a number data type. We came across the number data type over here. And we are having like it is a character data type and long data type and the date data type. So yesterday class, we were discussing only about the numeric data type or the number data type. Next, we discussed about the character data type, right? So under the numeric data type, so we are having like it is a number data type where it is belongs to the precision and the scale over here. So what do you mean by precision? What do you mean by scale?
Precision is nothing but the total number of numbers.
Total number of digits. Okay.
Digits.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And scale
Scale
is
is after the decimal places.
After the decimal
We can.
places. After the decimal
Yeah.
places, right? So up to this it is clear. So next we are coming into the character data type. So what do you mean by this character data type?
I mean, it is used to hold a set of characters.
Yeah, it is a set of
Alphabets.
yeah, not alphabets and numbers also it is holding, right? Yesterday you would have observed it is holding the
Yeah,
numbers as well as
yeah.
the characters. So generally we'll tell like it is used to hold the set of characters over here in the strings. In brackets we can mention like it is a strings also. So it is whether it is a fixed length, the character it is a fixed length.
Yeah, default it is 1.
Yeah, character it is a fixed length. So what is the default size over here, or what is the maximum size over here when we are using the character?
It is 38.
38 is belongs to the number data type. Only the
2000.
2000, yes. So when we are using this character data type, so exactly it is the 2000 bytes or the 2000 character it can contain. So by default, it contain 1 byte over here, default size over there, right? So size is optional here. So under the character data type, the uppercase and the lowercase like 0 to 9 digits and the special characters are allowed. So yesterday we observed, right? So today we'll discuss another data type, that is a varchar2 data type over here. So this is another important data type. So whenever you're creating a table for a particular column, we will create these data types over here, right? So this is the varchar2, another data type under the character. Okay, so it is used to represent the character information over here. So this data type also. So in this varchar2, it is a variable length character data type. So whereas in character data type, it is a fixed length. So that is the first difference over here. We can tell the difference between the character and the varchar. So character, under the character, it is the fixed length over there. So whereas in the varchar2, it is the variable length. So that is the first difference. Okay. Second difference is the size over here. So whenever you're defining your varchar2, we are having up to 4000 byte or 4000 character it can contain. Whereas in our character data type, it is only 2000 characters or 2000 bytes over here, right? So whenever you are creating a column with a varchar2, size is mandatory. So whereas previously you would have observed here. So we created one table. So where we didn't mention the size for the character. So what happens, obviously, by default, it is considering. By default, it is considering 1 byte or 1 character over here. So when you create a varchar character data type, so it is not possible to create without the byte or the size over here. So it is not possible. You need to mention. So size is mandatory here when we are using this varchar2 data type over here. So here also all the characters are allowed, like it is uppercase or the lowercase over here. So 0 to 9 and all the special characters are allowed here. Right. So this is a simple example where we are creating a table. So under a table where we are having 3 columns over here, the A, B, C. For that A column, it is the varchar2, 3 and 3 over here, and the B varchar2 10 here, again C varchar2 4000. These are the characters the particular column can hold. Okay. So in real time, most of the cases, we will use this data type only, the variable and the character over here. So we can also mention like it is going to contain the variable as well as the character over here, this varchar2. So most of the cases you can able to see we'll be creating this particular data type only. Okay, so now you tell me what is the difference. So here, if I'm going to create a table, so I'm going to, after creating the table, I'm going to check the data type. So description, the table name over here, and I can able to find that particular data types. Okay. So now I want to add this 3 rows. So you should tell me whether we can add this particular row. It will allow us to add this row, the first row.
Yes.
It will allow the first row. So why will allow the first row? Why? Because we mentioned the size as 3 over here. So another, under second column, we have mentioned the size as 10. Third column, the size, we have mentioned like 4000. So it will allow. So after you're going to check your table, select star from, you can able to see one row has been added in your particular table. So coming into the second row. So what happens to the second row here?
It won't accept.
It will not accept, right? So why? Because you are mentioning size as 3 and you're giving under the string you have mentioned 4 characters. So it will throw an error. So coming into the third,
Yes, it will allow.
it will accept. So whether can be, yeah, the size, it is not exactly 3 means you should not mention K. Below that also you can enter the characters over here. It will accept, right? So only this particular only one record alone, it will not accept over here. So where I'm mentioning again. Okay. So here we are having some difference between the character where we are using this number data type and we are using this character data type and we are using this varchar2 also. Okay. So we will use SQL Developer here. So this will be the interview question. What is the difference between the character and the varchar2? Okay. I hope you'll create a table name like varchar7. Control enter. So you created with a table. So X it is a number data type over here. Y it is a character, it is 10. Again Z it is a character varchar2 10 over here. So when you're going to select this particular table, you can able to description the table name, you can able to find the data type over there. Right? That only they have mentioned here in this example. Data type over here. Okay. So now we are going to add this record. So first one you have mentioned like a number. We didn't mention any size over here. So obviously what happens to this record? It will accept or not?
Yes, it will accept.
Will accept. So coming into the second record. For example, I'm giving 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. The number data type. And for the character, I mentioned 2 like XY. Again, for the varchar2, I mentioned like it is the XY over here. So what happens in this case? It will accept or not? No,
No, it will not.
it will not accept. So what happens here? So whenever we are using this number data type, if you're not going to mention the size, by default, what happens here? It is going to consider the size as 38 only, 1 to 38. So up to 38 characters you can store here in the number data type if you're not going to mention the size. Okay, obviously it is accepting over here. So up to 38 characters, if you're going to enter here, it will accept. Okay. So now tell me what is the difference between the character data type and varchar2? What you understood now in this particular, not only in this example, commonly asking you, what we understood the difference between the any two differences or three differences between the character and the varchar2.
In character, by default, we can default value is there.
Default value,
And
the size. Okay.
yeah,
The
but in
size is-
varchar,
we need to mention the size over here. That is mandatory. Oh yeah, that is the first difference. Okay. Second difference, any difference?
in character, we can save up to 2000.
Yeah,
In
in
varchar
2000.
2, we can tell to 4000.
4,000. Yeah, that is the second difference. The third difference we can tell like character, it stands for the character over here, whereas varchar2, it is going to stands for the variable character over here. So in the data type itself, you can see. So character, it is going to hold only the characters here. In the varchar2, not only characters, it is a variable characters over here. We can tell like it is used to hold the, it is also stands for the variable character over here. So that will be the third difference here. So fourth difference is that character data type is used to store the character strings in the fixed length. Whereas varchar2 data type, it is used to store the character string of the variable length over here. So in varchar2, it is variable. In character data type, it is a fixed length. So that is the another difference here. So another difference is that when we are using this character data type, it gives us the better performance than the varchar2. Whereas when we are using this varchar2 data type, while comparing to the character data type, performance-wise, it is not good here. Right? So that is the another difference. So coming to the character data type again. So all the strings are stored in the data, which is specified in the position so that the system no need to check for the end of the string over here when we are using it under the character data type. So whereas in the varchar2, what happens in this, the system has to first find out the end of the string and then go for the searching over here. So that will be the last difference between the character and the varchar2 over here. Another difference also you can tell like character takes 1 byte for each character. So as it was maximum size is 2000, right? Character takes 1 byte for each character. Whereas varchar2 takes 1 byte for each character and some extra bytes for holding the length over here. And we can tell that maximum size it is 4000. So that is also the another difference here. Any doubts in this difference? So you can note down this difference if you. These are the differences between the character and the varchar2 over here, data types. Okay. So in coming to the real time, we'll be most of the cases using this varchar2 and the number data type over there. Okay. We'll go to the next data type. So we are having the next data type where it is the long data type over here. So why we are using this long data type here? It is used to represent the characters or numbers over here. So the maximum size it is 2 GB here. So only one long column is allowed in per table. So if you are going to create one long data type over here, that means this long, you can able to see this long over here, right? So when while creating your table, you can create only with one long data type over here. Okay. So it is also a single byte character data type over here. So the size it is 2 GB. So it is a rare case. We will not be using this long data type. Just for our information, we are just giving this is the long data type. What do you mean by this long data type? So if you want to create a long data type, same like previously we created a table like create table and table name. So where you using this description long over here. So description is nothing but what is the column name. So here in this table you can able to see. In this table we are taking some columns over here. So where we are taking the number data type, 3 number data type, 2 character data type, and 2 varchar2, and one long data type over here. So whenever you are going to create a table, If it is a requirement to create with a long data type, in that case, you are going to create with a long data type over here. That too long, it is allowed only in one particular table. Only one data type like long you can able to use here. So this will be the very rare case. Okay. So coming into the next data type, that is the date data type over here. So we all will be having one idea about the date data type. So as it is going to hold only the date values over here. It can hold the time also, not only date, it is also going to hold the time also over here. And also it is also going to hold the date, month, year, minutes, and the seconds over here. Another thing is that it cannot hold the fractional seconds over here, like the milliseconds here. So under this date data types, how we can use the date data types? It is related to the date only. It is also used to hold only the date values over here. So for example, in our EMP table, we are having the higher date column. Higher date is related to the, it is not related to the any numbers over there. It is related to the date data type only. So where we are going to enter one value for the employee who has been joined. So where we are using this higher date column. So this is a small example over here. Okay. So where we are using this higher date as a column, date data type, where it is the date over here. Okay. So this date data type in our functions, we are having the conversion functions over here. Under the conversion functions, we are having this to_date function where it is used to convert the given date format. So we are having some format over there. So according to that format, it will convert and it will give us the output over there. So where there also we'll use this date data types over there, right? So date data types, it is used to hold only the date values over here. So any doubts in this? So for example, we can also tell if you're creating one column, not only higher date column or a invoice date you are going to mention. So it is related to the date only, right? So like that, we'll use this date data type. So these are the types of data types. Another information we can tell, like we are having the timestamp also. So any idea about the timestamp? Anybody having any idea about the timestamp here? In general, I'm asking in general only. So when you are using this timestamp, what happens? It is used to hold the time values over here. So it can hold the date values also. Timestamp, obviously, it is going to hold the time date values also. It can also hold the date, month, years, hours, minutes, seconds, and fractional seconds also. Okay, timestamp. So what do you mean by timestamp? It is used to hold the date values and also the time values here. Okay, so where it is only going to hold the day, month, minutes, seconds, everything. So these are the types of data types over here. Okay, it is the under the simple data type. So where it is provided by the Oracle over here. So these are the date data types, like it's a numeric, character, long data type, and the date data types. Okay. So we'll go to the next topic. Like it is the SQL statements over here. So we came across this SQL, the components of SQL over there, right? So under the components, under the SQL components, so we are having the 5 types of SQL components over here. So like it is the DDL, DML, DQL, TCL, and DCL over there. So these are the full forms of this particular components here. So DDL, data definition language, DML is a data manipulation language, DQL, data query language, TCL is a transaction control language here, DCL is a data control language. So under DDL, these are the comments. So today's class will discuss about the DDL, data definition language over here. In today's class, we will discuss about this, right? So under DDL, so DDL stands for the data definition language over here. So before going to that, so you can able to see the comments over here. So under each and every components, these are the comments we are going to use it, right? So next we are having the database objects. So what do you mean by this database object? As I told, anything we are going to create, not only table, it can be a view or a synonym or a sequence, or it can be a function, procedure, or a package over here. So this procedure, function, trigger, and package we will be learning in our Plsql. So up to this index, we will be learning in SQL only. So anything you are going to create, those are called as the database objects here. So anybody will ask you, what do you mean by database objects? Anything we are going to create, those are called as the database objects. Like if there's any examples, so you can give the examples like a table. So table, you can able to see now we are creating a table. That is also database object. So view, in upcoming class, we'll be creating a view. We'll be creating a synonym over here. So you'll be creating a sequence, index. Those are called as the database objects here. So these are the database objects, right? So coming into the DDL. So DDL stands for the data definition language here. So as it deals with the metadata over here. So that is the data about the data here. So some of the examples such as the table name, we can mention like it's a column name or a data type over here, field name, next field size over here, constraint name, constraint type, etc. Okay. So these are auto-committed comments. So what do you mean by this word auto-committed commands? So this should be we should be very clear in this particular word, auto-committed command. That means, so whenever you're using this DDL comments over there, so automatically it will be saved into your database. You don't want to use this save command in this particular command here. Automatically it will be saved into your database, whatever changes you are making. So for example, also I told you yesterday, so you're working on one particular MS Word document, you are making some changes. For each and every time we use this Control S to save our document, right? Same way here, we are not going to use any, in SQL we'll be using instead of save only, we are using this commit command over there. So instead of to replace the save only, we are using this commit command here. So when we are using this commit command in SQL, what happens? It will be saved into your database permanently. Okay. So that saving option we are not using in our DDL commands. These are auto-committed. Automatically, whenever you're creating a table, it will be saved into your database. Whenever you're altering your table, under alter, you will be modifying a table over here. Okay, modifying a particular column. It will be saved into that particular table. You don't want to use the save option anywhere. So these comments, these are auto commit comments over here. Okay, so DDL comments interact with the database directly. As you told, we are not giving any save option over here. So it is dealing with our database directly over here. So we no need to mention, we don't need to use the commit command after using the DDL comment over here. All DDL comments are auto committed. So these are the DDL comments. So it is a create, alter, rename, drop, truncate. So we are having a flashback over here, another comment, and seventh comment, it is the purge over here. So we'll be having these two comments also. So where it is the flashback. Next it is the purge. So these are the 7 comments. We can use it under the DDL. That is the data definition language here. So it is clear, right? So these comments are not, or these comments are auto committed. We are not going to use any save option over here, right? So coming into the create. So coming into the first comment, create over here. So create, it is used to create a new database objects over here. Okay. So while creating a table, we provide a basic information about the table, like a particular column, what the column should contain, what is the data type it should contain, under the data type, what are the size should contain. So while creating, so it is used to create the database, not only table, it is also used to create the another database objects like a view or a indexes or anything, right? So in this, we are having a syntax over here. So SQL, coming into the SQL, we will tell in Max, we will tell like it is a formula, right? But in SQL or SQL or structured query language, we will tell like it is the syntax over here. According to the syntax, we are going to enter. Okay, so create table. So creating a table. This is also a DDL comment over here. So previous classes, we created table. So how we created a table? So create table, table name. So you can able to see this is the syntax here. So column name 1, data type and size, column name 2, data type and size, so on. How many number of columns according to your requirement, you are going to create a table here. So here the table name, it is the name of the table, right? So we are having some rules while creating the table also. So then the table should not contain the number. while creating a table, it should not contain the hyphen over here. It should not contain the space over there. Underscore it can contain. So it should not be the Oracle reserved keyword. So like that, we are having some conditions. We came across this, right? So next it is the column. So what is the column 1, column 2? The name of the columns according to our requirement. So next is the data type. So previously we discussed about the data types, whether that particular data type according to the column, what type of data type it should contain.